Lewis,
Well, Charles was asking if the economic issue of negotiable instruments, discharge of debt, settlement of an account, as opposed to recognized as paying a bill.
Yes.
If something that might be brought up on the Republic economic discussion or the governance call. And I'm only available on the governance call. I'm typically still working on.
The way I view what's happening and is what my preference would be is for Trump to reconcile the debt. Okay, because since silver was taken out of the coin, we have become the backing of the dollar, of the Federal Reserve note. And since Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution was breached by the legislators, and we have become, of course, the marketable commodity, our real estate, which of course means us, our children, our fruit of our labor, and so on and so forth. So I'm coming from an entirely different perspective than what John is coming from and Brad at this point in time. Not that I'm saying what they're doing is wrong or anything like that. It's just that because of what I'm dealing with personally here in this area and my issues, my preference would be to see the debt reconciled, every man, woman, and child paid back what they have been bonded, bundled, and monetized for since silver was removed from the coin. That means that, whatever the price was that was set for them at their birth certificate or Social Security or whatever, number, just however they were monetized by the system that is for the profit of just a very few people at the top echelon that has the ability to print the notes. And that goes back to the seigniorage, and that particular word is very, very important when it comes to understanding where I'm coming from. However, I'm not saying that an alternate or, another system, alternative system, shouldn't be used at the point of time when it's necessary in order to, figure out what it is we're going to do going forward. Does that make sense to you?
Niki,
no, it does.
That sounds like a great
Go ahead,
stimulus
Abraham.
check on the horizon. It sounds like a great stimulus check on the horizon, Niki, if we could figure that one out.
Yes, and, and it's what we're owed. We've been bundled, bonded, and monetized for. And, the thing is that people who have been on welfare and assistance and, disability, not disability necessarily if they paid into it for that disability, but but what they've been, sucking off their own funds, since the beginning. So, they're going to get less than those of us who have worked all of our lives, paid into it, and never got anything in return, except the devaluation of the dollar. If the contract that I entered into back in 1957 or 58, the Social Security Administration, I would be getting over $5,000 a month if we were still on that same, if the dollar still was the same, marketable, commodity as it was back then. But today, because of the devaluation of the dollar, and it's not inflation, it's devaluation, because silver was taken out of the coin and so on and so forth. But the process remains the same, because pennies on the dollar, those notes are printed. So who in the world is pocketing the money that they're profiting off of the printing of those notes? You know what I'm saying? I'm going off on a tangent.
I do. No, I really do. But this is the thing. I would enjoy at another time. Well, this might be the. I've just got to go because of my wife. A debate, because I get exactly what you're saying, but I would submit that the New Deal validates everything that you're questioning. The New Deal of 1933 validates everything that you're questioning, meaning that the Federal Reserve was giving the ability to control the currency and the elasticity of the currency, meaning that they could expand or retract as they saw fit in terms of value. It's monopoly money. They determine the value. It's got no other than what you've already brought forward. The intrinsic value, the actual cost to print the note, that I think that you said range from 7 cents to
7 cents, 7.7 cents,
yeah, to 19 some odd cents. That's it. So the contract signed and agreed to, not signed. There was no signage, but there was a presentation and an implied acceptance of the New Deal. Allows the Federal Reserve to do just that you have exposed. So our issue was about discharging of a debt. Any of the public utilities, I don't care what it is. If it's a public utility, gas, lights, telephone, whatever the case might be, the ability to discharge based on that contract, that deal, that New Deal, is, in my opinion, outside of forming our townships and our county governments and state governments. In my opinion, that should be the focus.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, enforcing the New Deal, because if you did that part alone, we would not, and I mean as private people, would not be involved in certain public controversies, because as the account statement arrives monthly, what we call the monthly bill, which is a statement of account, with a coupon for payment, and based upon their rules, a coupon is money. A coupon is money. The water company and the property statement here on Wayne County no longer say payment coupon because of that fact. They know that they're involved in illegal activities, so they don't put the word there because they've been challenged so many times here that they actually take it off of. It doesn't say even payment coupon anymore. It's actually a Xeroxed copy of an account statement that they submit as a bill. I guarantee you it is. I guarantee it. That's why if you talk with anyone that's here in Wayne County in Michigan, one of their major issues is the water company, because they are so fraudulent, it is ridiculous. So if anyone steps up to simply challenge the presentment itself, which says, like, what is this? Just simply, what is this that you're sending to my house expecting me to pay? The problem is you'll end up without water service here quickly.
And that's all based on the Public Utilities Commission, and that came in 1913, I believe. And it was the same year the Federal Reserve, and of course the New Deal government is nothing but, what was promised in the preamble to that, 1787 con, a more perfect union of corporate feudalism.
You and I are in complete agreement, but the thing is, if someone's about to engage that individually, they'll want to set aside funds in a, what is the account that you set to the side? Escrow. Okay. And then actually initiate, not be on the defensive, but initiate a court action within the de facto. So how do we use what we're doing on the private side to actually obtain jury verdicts So even if we engage the de facto, which we must do because it's going to be the de facto which communicates to the corporate entity, hey, keep service on at this particular address when they're scheduled to cut service off at that address. How do we then, use what we're putting in place and then go to the de facto with a complete jury verdict, which cannot be challenged. See, then we've got some standing. We've got a jury verdict, and then this cannot be challenged based upon the Constitution. Now, you need to, as you are the authority in dealing with this corporation that you've given license to operate in the state of Michigan, to turn service back on. Let's say service has been interrupted. We've gotten to that point on something, whether it's mortgage or water or utility, whatever the case. Let's keep it at utilities for the purpose of this call, of this conversation.